So in this video I want to show you how to do the Alpine stitch. Now the Alpine stitch is a combination of double crochets and trebles and front post trebles in alternate rows. Quite easy to do, but a really effective, lovely stitch. Hello, my name's Karen Stangram and welcome to Conquer Crochet, the channel for tips, tricks and techniques for conquering your crochet. Everything I talk about in today's video will be linked in the descriptions below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss a single stitch. So if you're keen to get going with this video, give me a thumbs up and let's do this. So for this tutorial I'm going to be using a Stylecraft Aran. I think this is the colourway Fondant. I'm going to be using a 5mm hook with my yarn. I have scissors for cutting off my ends and I have a needle for sewing in my ends. So to start off we're going to make a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And we're going to chain our foundation chain. And we need to do this in multiples of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So pause the video now whilst you make your foundation chain. Remember to make it in multiples of 2. I'm going to go up to 20 with mine. So pause the video now. So I've made my 20 chains for my foundation row. I'm now going to do one more chain, which is going to be the turning chain to give me height for my work. We're then going to do a row of double crochets. That's UK terminology, so that would be single crochet in US terminology. And we're going to do our double crochet in the second chain from the hook, so we don't count the one on the hook. So 1, 2, we insert into that chain, yarn over, pull through, you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Let's do that again. So insert into the chain, yarn over, pull through the chain, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. Insert, yarn over, pull through, you should have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those 2. And we're going to continue all the way down our chain with double crochets to complete row 1. So pause the video now whilst you complete your row. So I'm just coming up to the end of my double crochet row, into the last stitch, just tighten that tail up a little bit, and there we have our foundation row and row 1 of our double crochets. Now we're going to chain 2 for our turning chain, and we're going to chain our work. Now throughout our rows that have trebles in them, that 2 chain is going to count as a stitch. So when it counts as a stitch, you don't work into this stitch here because this one belongs to this stitch here. So we're going to be working in this stitch, the next one along, and we're going to make a treble. That's double crochet in US terminology, treble in UK. So we yarn over, insert into the stitch, yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull the yarn through 2 of those loops. Yarn over, pull the yarn through the last 2. And there you have 2 trebles, the treble you made with the 3 chain and the treble here. So let's do that one again. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to continue all the way down this row with treble stitches. So pause the video now whilst you complete your second row. Okay, and I'm now going to do my last stitch. There we go. So that completes the foundation part of this. Now the next rows are where the pattern actually happens. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. With the chain 1 in our double crochet rows, the chain does not count as a stitch, therefore we are going to go into this first space here. And we're going in with a double crochet, so we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, just have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And we continue all the way down to the end of this row with our double crochets in exactly the same way as we did with our first row. So pause the video now whilst you complete your double crochet row. So when you get to the end of your double crochet row, oops, we're actually going to double crochet into the top of that turning chain from the previous row. So I'm just going to go into the top of there, and that will ensure we get a nice straight edge. Okay, so that's the first row of the pattern. That will be repeated. So now we're going to chain 2, and as I said before, the chain 2 on a treble row will count, so we're not working into this stitch. We're now going to work into the next stitch, and we're going to make a treble. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now the next stitch we're going to do a front post treble. So we're going to go round the front post of this stitch here. So if we look at it, our chain 3 links to this stitch here, the treble we've just made links to this stitch here, so we're going around this post here, and to do that we're going to yarn over, go behind the stitch and come out the other side, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you'll see that that's now slightly raised. Now if you just pull that forward a bit, you'll see that there's a stitch there. We're not going to work into that stitch because it's hidden by our front post treble. So we're going to make a treble into the next stitch, not a front post treble, just into the stitch. So that treble relates to this one here in the previous row. So now we're going to do a front post treble around the next one. So essentially you're missing one out each time. So yarn over, not this one, go through the next one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Remember to miss that stitch at the back, make a treble into the next stitch, and then we're going to do a front post treble. So we're skipping this one and we're going into the next one. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we continue this all the way down our row. So we're going to do a treble, then front post treble, treble, front post treble, remembering to skip out that one each time. So continue down in this way to the end of the row, and I will see you at the end. So I'm coming towards the end of my row. I'm going to do my front post treble, and then in that last stitch I'm going to do an ordinary treble. And that just helps to keep our rows nice and even. So it's starting to look a little bit, if you see my video on the waffle stitch, it's starting to look a little bit like that, where you have your raised posts and then your indented posts. So that's row 4. So row 3 was a row of double crochets, row 4 is this alternating pattern here. Row 5, so we chained 1 and we turn, it's a chain 1, so we can work into this stitch because the double crochet row doesn't count, the chain doesn't count as a stitch. So insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. And we're going to double crochet all the way down this row, and between each of our treble and front post treble rows we're going to have a double crochet row, which really helps those front post trebles to stand out more. So pause the video now whilst you complete this double crochet row. So I'm just coming up to the end of my double crochet row. I'm going to work into the top of that 3 chain there, my last double crochet, and your double crochet row will always be worked on the wrong side. That's the side that doesn't have the front post trebles on it, so it's always on the wrong side. So if you're ever not sure, just make sure if there's any front post trebles, then you should be doing a treble front post treble row. Chain 2 and turn your work. Remember, this chain 2 counts, so we're not going into this stitch here. So in the first row that we did a treble, then a front post treble. We're going to alternate it now, and we're going to do a front post treble around that one that seems to be at the back there. So we're going to yarn over, go behind this stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then in the one that is forward, the front post treble, we're going to do a normal treble. So it's just the opposite to what we've been doing. Then we're going to do a front post treble around this stitch, so yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Then in the next one, remembering to skip the chain, skip the stitch that's behind the front post treble. We don't need to work that one. We're going to make a treble in the next one, and then we're going to do a front post treble in the next stitch, and we continue this all the way down our row. So work to the end of the row and I will show you what we need to do next. So I'm just coming up to the end of that row there. I'm going to do my treble in this front post treble here, and we're not going to work around this one here, we're just going to do a treble in the last stitch. So just to recap then, we're going to do a foundation chain that has multiples of 2 plus a chain 1. Then we do a row of double crochets, then we do a row of treble crochets, then we do another row of double crochet, then we do a row of crochets where we alternate between a treble and a front post treble, treble, front post treble, all the way along. Then we do another row of double crochets, and then this time we do front post treble, treble, front post treble, treble, so it slightly alternates. And you'll see at the beginning of your row which one it needs to be, because when you look at your stitch you'll go, oh, that one's back, so that needs to be pulled forward. Okay, so I'm going to do a few more rows now just so you can see what the overall effect looks like. So I've just done a few more rows there just so you can really see the effects of the alpine stitch. Hoping my camera doesn't go out of focus whilst I'm moving it around for you to see. So on the reverse you'll end up with these ridges, that's because of the front and back posts, and then on the front you end up with this lovely textured stitch. And if you choose the right yarn to do it with, that would be really nice and cozy and soft to sit on or to snuggle up in, or to lean against if you wanted to make a nice cushion with this. I finished off with a row of double crochet. You could finish off with 1 or 2 rows so it sort of matches the bottom there, and then you could put a border around if you're making a blanket. Entirely up to you how you want to do that, but that is a really beautiful stitch. So that's how to do the alpine stitch. I really hope you found today's tutorial useful. If there are any information that you need to find out about this video, have a look in the descriptions below where I post all the links to any freebies and other videos I think you might find useful. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this video, to give me a thumbs up below. Don't forget also to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you've enjoyed it and you'd like to see more of my tutorial videos. There are 2 other videos on screen to help you on your crochet journey, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!